Hello, my name is Stanley Odessis, and in this lesson, we're going to discover how Android applications present content to the user. Applications enable all the features of an Android phone. Apps help us text, email, play games, and so much more. And applications provide those features through four top level components, all represented by Java objects. Services do passive work in the background, such as playing music, syncing a calendar, or downloading a video for offline playback, whereas receivers respond to messages sent by the system. For example, the phone application sends an internal broadcast when it receives a call. A video streaming application can listen for that broadcast and pause playback. Providers share an application's data with other applications installed on the device, data such as contacts or calendar events. And finally, activities provide the most visible of application components. They present content to the screen and respond to user interaction. So when most of us think app, we're really thinking about the poked, prodded, typed, swiped, button-having things, otherwise known as activities. The focus of this module is on these activities and how they display content to the screen. An activity represents something an application can do, and an application often does several things, meaning most applications provide more than one activity. The YouTube application, famous for its complete and unrivaled collection of goats who scream like people, happens to provide several activities. The first is YouTube's home activity, where users can scroll their feed, jump to trending videos, subscriptions, and their inbox. However, when we tap the search icon, YouTube launches a new activity that helps us find more videos featuring people goats. Our personal favorite is all of them. While the responsibility for everything seen and touched begins with activity objects, the reality is, as usual, a bit more complicated. In best practice, activities are only negotiators between the data presented, the user's actions, and the visible elements on screen. In fact, activities do not draw the visuals themselves. Android leaves that responsibility to the subject of our next topic, views. Views are like the elements in the periodic table of interface stuff. Independently, views are interesting. They can display images, text, and so much more. But much like the periodic elements combine to form chemicals, we combine views to form design components that serve a purpose to the user. To do so, we use a special type of view that creates a bond, yes, we can hear your goat screams, between view elements. This view is called a view group. View groups are views that may contain other views within them. For example, the linear layout view group arranges its child views in a line, either horizontally or vertically, whereas the constraint layout view group allows its child views to arrange themselves relative to the positions of other views in the same view group, relative to their sibling views. The diversity of Android's view groups lets us organize views in any way our heart desires, and to quickly undo those desires when our heart inevitably leads us astray. An activity screen is built with a combination of these view arrangements, and we typically call these arrangements layouts. This can be confusing, given that the word layout appears in linear layout and constraint layout, the two view groups we discussed moments ago. However, in best practice, a layout is an independent, meaningful arrangement of views that may represent an entire screen or a small reusable piece, like an entry in a list. In Android, each layout is represented by an XML file. These plain text files serve as blueprints for the interface that our application presents to the user. View groups, views, and their relationships to one another can all be defined using a text-based approach where each bracketed element corresponds to a programmable view object. When activities first launch, they read a layout file and convert it to a set of corresponding Java objects. These objects inherit from the base view object and may draw themselves to the screen. Despite being the top-level components responsible for presenting content to the user, activities must work with layout files and views to bring an interface to life.